Congrats, Jalen. Well deserved.
Smith has it. Knicks down 3. Should the Bulls foul? No. Anthony for 3. Bang! That one goes down, and the game is tied. Down by 2. Mike Woodson not calling timeout.
And I like that move.
In the hands of Anthony. Anthony for 3. Puts it in! Knicks by 1 with 8.2 remaining.
Yo, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Hoop Crest, guys. Appreciate you as always for tuning in. Remember to like, subscribe, and comment on the video. I cannot believe that we actually made the finals, guys. The Knicks are officially slotted into the NBA Finals, something that I honestly thought at one point I'd never seen my entire life. I had really lost hope in this. But we are here, guys. Sorry, I woke up a little sick, and it's super early where I'm at. So sorry for my voice in this video. But yeah, let's just get straight into the video. I will say this: the Cavs came into this game with more energy than they did in Game 3, more aggression, more just more urgency than they did in Game 3. Game 3 was really a pathetic performance. If you look at the box score, I mean, pretty much every stat is in favor of the Knicks. Rebounding stats was dominated by the Knicks. 3-point shooting was dominated by the Knicks. Overall field goal and field goal percentage dominated by New York. Excuse me. You know, Cleveland played great. The Cleveland offense in the first quarter, they played amazing. They scored 30 points. It's just that the Knicks scored 40 points in the first quarter. I mean, this Knicks offense is like, there's almost like no basketball analysis. It's just insanely historically dominant. I mean, everyone's shooting the lights out. Everybody's hot at the same time. Everybody's connected on the same wavelengths, right? And a lot of that comes because this New York Knicks team has been together for basically 3 seasons already. You know, you see in the modern NBA, a lot of tweaks and changes are made to these teams when they don't win championships. And as a result of that, you kind of take away that chemistry that this Knicks team has, that these guys have been together through, you know, thick and thin, win and loss for the past 3 to 4 seasons. And that's one of the reasons why they're so dominant offensively. But I mean, one thing I will say, man, I am pretty damn nervous about going into the finals and us finally cooling off. Because the last 2 playoff series, we have been insanely hot, insanely dominant. I don't want us to fall apart in the finals. I'm praying that doesn't happen. And the rest of the basketball community should as well, so we can get an entertaining final series. But let's move on to our player highlights and lowlights here. These are just the series averages for each player. Yeah. I mean, pretty much everyone on the Knicks had an amazing series. 6 different players on the Knicks had double-digit scoring averages for this playoff series. So very impressive all-around scoring for New York. Mikal Bridges, the best, probably the best playoff series of his career. Maybe you can get like a Phoenix playoff series in there, and maybe he has a better one in Phoenix. But as a New York Knick, this is by far his best playoff series. His defense on James Harden and Donovan Mitchell whenever he needed to switch on to either one was stupendous. Obviously, he's the Iron Man. He played many minutes for us, played every game for us, played hard as hell. His shooting was amazing. His ability to get to the rim was amazing. We've got a new play here in this series, and it's the Mikal Bridges to Mitchell Robinson alley-oop. We ran that play at least once a game in this series, if you really go and look back. We ran that play at least once a game, and that really is our bread and butter for Mikal Bridges and Mitchell Robinson, especially because Mikal Bridges has that mid-range threat. So once he comes off a screen off of Mitchell Robinson, you got to come up and you got to guard that mid-range because he will splash that in your face. And then once Mitchell Robinson runs to the rim, he catches pretty much any lob. Mitchell Robinson caught like 3 or 4 lobs this game. He was really impressive. And he did hurt his hand in this game, so I really hope that he will be healthy for the finals. But yeah, I mean, New York played stupendous. Jalen Brunson, 25 and 8. He didn't shoot well from 3 this series, but it didn't matter at all. Cat, all-around game, all-around performance. Playing that playmaking role. I can't believe Mike Brown kind of developed that basically in the middle of the playoffs. It's actually insane. And to expand more on that, Mike Brown, I mean, listen, he got us to the finals, right? So we are forever indebted to Mike Brown. But Mike Brown's coaching style, man, there's just some fundamental disagreements that I really have with him. And how he kind of just develops things on the fly. And of course, sometimes it works out, right? Like the Karl Anthony Towns playmaking center at the 3, holding the ball, basically looking around for his teammates. That was a new thing that we developed in the Atlanta series. That really wasn't a thing in the regular season, and we just developed it on the fly. Now, it's been helping us, and it's been working for us a lot, but I just don't like that coaching style of just, I guess, just throwing things in the wind and seeing what sticks. You know, throwing shit at the wall and I guess seeing what sticks. But anyways, yeah, Cleveland, not a great series from pretty much anyone who isn't Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell played decent, but even Donovan Mitchell had his critiques in this series. Like game 1, Donovan, you should have closed that game. Shouldn't have been James Harden. Shouldn't have been Evan Mobley. Shouldn't have been Max Strus taking those 3-point shots at the end of game 1 in overtime. It should have been Donovan Mitchell closing that game, and he was having the best game in that game 1 of both teams combined. So, yeah, Donovan Mitchell has some blame on his hands, of course, but he did play the best on his team. Evan Mobley, in my opinion, was the most disappointing player for Cleveland in this series. He was probably the most disappointing player of both teams in this series. Listen, this 17 and 8 shit, it's cute, but if you're going to be the second best player on a team, you need to be way more aggressive, way more dominant, and we just need more scoring out of Evan at this point. It's been, 7, 8 years, or 6 or 7 years into his career, and he's not really shown and evolving as much as we want. I mean, remember, this guy is supposed to be the new KG. Supposed to be the next Kevin Garnett from a playmaking perspective, from putting the ball on the floor perspective, from getting in the post and getting fouls and being aggressive and getting in the lane perspective. He just wasn't aggressive. He just wasn't, I don't know. Sometimes with Evan Mobley, it feels like he doesn't take on the challenge of really having that pride and saying, when he faces another great big man like a Cat or anyone else, he doesn't seem to have that pride to be like, you know what, I'm going to step my foot on the ground and I'm going to be the better big man tonight. I'm going to be the better big man in this series. I just don't think he's as dominant as he can be, Same with Chet on the other side of the spectrum, right? Chet, Mobley, like these guys are so talented. They're so long and they can do so much on defense and offense. But then they have these stretches where it's like, I guess it's bag work. I guess they need bag work or just, so, I don't know. I don't know what really needs to be done. I really don't. But yeah, Evan Mobley, I think, was disappointing in this series, especially after game 2. Pretty much when they went back to Cleveland for game 3 and 4, he was disappointing. In game 2, I remember he scored 14 points in the first half, and in the entire second half, completely went scoreless. So there's a lot of discussions to be had about Evan Mobley. James Harden, 16 points on really bad efficiency. One of the most surprising things that I saw on his playoff series stats was that he only averaged 3 assists in this series. It felt like he averaged way more watching this series. Now, to be fair, James Harden did have a lot of hockey assists, if you really watch these games. And he was playmaking out there, so I'm not going to take that away from him. But just overall bad efficiency. But, I mean, God damn it. Who's surprised, right? Who's surprised a bad James Harden series, especially when he's 37 years old? I mean, for being the third guy on this team outside of Mobley and Mitchell, I do think Harden had a pretty decent playoffs. I mean, you can't be too mad at him. How much better would Garland have played, right? think about that if you're a Cleveland fan. How much better does Garland play in this scenario? Does Garland really take you to the next level? I don't think so. So James Harden, yeah, disappointing overall, but he didn't play horrible, I would say. And then over here in the middle of our screen, we've got LeBron James. Does a 41-year-old LeBron push the needle for this team? No, he doesn't. This team probably goes exactly right back to where they're at in 2027, which would be like an Eastern Conference Finals appearance. But are they better than this Knicks team? Does a 41-year-old LeBron push the needle against this Knicks team when you got to play them in 2027? Does a 41-year-old LeBron push the needle against Boston when you have Tatum that's going to be back for an entire healthy season? And potentially they're even talking about trading one of the Jalen's or Jason Tatum to Milwaukee for Giannis, and Boston could potentially have Giannis next season. You know, is this enough to even beat Philly? If Philly comes right next season, and Joel Embiid is more healthy than he is, and Paul George is healthy, like Philly had good stretches in this season, especially in the playoffs, right? Yeah, and then teams are getting younger. You got Orlando, you got Atlanta getting younger and younger. And you're plugging in a 41-year-old LeBron. I don't see it really working out too great. It would be great for like entertainment, for ratings, and just having LeBron ending his story in Cleveland. But I don't think he pushes the needle for Cleveland if we're really talking about winning championships. But yeah, these are my highlights and lowlights. I want to get to some final Knicks thoughts because I'm just so excited that we're in the finals. I can't believe this. The city's gonna be wild today. I might go out tonight. Let's see. Final Knicks thoughts. Tibbs. Listen, I know I'm a little bit of a Mike Brown hater, but I just wanted to get this out of my system. I think Tibbs gets us here. I think in an alternate universe in 2026, Tibbs never gets fired. I think he unjustly got fired last season. I think he should still be here. But Tibbs gets us here. I think Tibbs gets us to this exact point so far, the same as Mike Brown. Now, if Mike Brown can win it all, that's going to be something unique to Mike Brown and special. But I think Coach Tibbs gets us here. I mean, we faced Atlanta in round 1. Okay, Atlanta's a decent challenge, not really serious. No one took Atlanta seriously in terms of beating New York, right? Then we face a Philly team. We completely sweep them. Philly's not ready. And then we face this Cleveland team. This Cleveland team gave up after game 2. So this playoff run, I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be honest. It's not the most impressive playoff run. It's not the most difficult playoff run. Statistically, the Knicks' offense is historic and impressive, but in terms of what their challenge is to get to the finals, it hasn't been super impressive in my opinion. So I think Coach Tibbs can get us here, and I think he would have gotten us here if he were still here. So that's just something that I just want to get out there. Another thing, thank you, Julius. Thank you. Ever since you came to this team and took us on that initial playoff run in 2021 with that bum-ass roster, I'm talking about like Alec Burks is like the second best player on that team, and Julius Randle is still taking that team to the playoffs. So shout out to Julius. Really appreciate what he did for this city, for what he did to this team, because people forget, man, everybody liked to shit on Julius. When Julius got here, we had nothing. We were a joke. We were an absolute joke. So thank you, Julius. And then lastly, Jalen Brunson. I think the most interesting talk around him right now is his all-time ranking, right? If he's able to get this done, if he's able to bring a championship to New York, comment and let me know where he's at all time in terms of his ranking, and then where he's at in terms of his New York Knicks ranking. I want to know both. In terms of his New York Knicks ranking, I'll say right now I put him at number 2 by default. And in terms of his all-time ranking, I think that certainly puts him in top 50 talks. I really do. If he is able to bring a championship to New York, he's been putting up, I mean, he's had like 5 amazing all-star, all-NBA seasons in a row at this point. He's had like 4 or 5 amazing post-season runs. He's going to continue to do this, obviously, as his career progresses after this season as well. So I think if he can get at least one championship and bring it to New York, I think that does put him in top 50 ranks. and then he can only climb up at that point, right? So thank you guys so much, man. The Knicks are in the finals. Our next video will be the, San Antonio OKC series. And then once that series ends, we're going to do a finals preview, right? So we're going to do a Knicks versus either OKC or San Antonio series preview. And whoever makes it out of that series, we'll do the, the matchups. We'll get into coaching. We're going to get into the X and O's. We're going to get into what I believe will be benefits and challenges for each team. It's going to be pretty fun. Thank you for watching Hoop Press. Knicks are in the finals. We out.
Anthony on the left wing. Millsap in his pocket. Anthony, tough shot over Moscato. Oh, baby! He knocked down a triple! And the Knicks are back within one.